Hello Aries, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be your reading for the month of July. Keep in mind, Aries timing and energy is still fluid. This could play out at any point in time. This message may or may not be for you, so I do ask that you only take with you what does resonate and kind of leave behind the rest. And so I am going to talk about what came through in meditation before jumping in with the cards, and so this might be a standalone message, although it usually coincides with the messages that do come through with the cards. And so I kept hearing moving, and I was shown moving boxes. So either you might be moving, or somebody maybe that you're in a living situation with might be moving, but moving. And then I felt this overwhelming urge of temptation to overindulge. And so this could mean alcohol, drugs, but whatever this overindulgence is and this temptation, it's going to lead to some negative consequences. And so keep in mind, these can be energies in and around you, Aries. And so swap around the energies, but don't cram yourself in. But on the flip side, I also felt this having some sort of negative impact on somebody's self-esteem. And so this overburdened energy of responsibilities, and I kept feeling like this 10 of Wands pressure. And so you may find yourself a little bit disappointed in a lover or a partner that you might find suddenly bailing on you. Maybe somebody's unexpectedly moving. But I do feel there's going to be some type of realization that you need to discover somebody's true self, true intentions. And I do feel this overall energy of questioning your feelings and this person's feelings for you. Okay, Aries, keep in mind, this is going to be for any major Aries placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. And so if this doesn't resonate, I do encourage you to check your other signs and placements in your birth chart. So let's jump in with the cards, Aries, and I'm going to start off by using the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck, and my cat Kitty is like right all up in your reading. Ooh, Dark Night of the Soul. So I do feel, you know, we're about getting ready to go into the Aries North Node. We're closing out the Taurus North Node, and the North Node is always in retrograde, and so we're at this analytical degree when it comes to the Taurus North Node. And on July 17th, the North Node is going to be shifting into Aries. And so we're closing out some major karma right now. So I feel maybe you've been in the Dark Night of the Soul. I feel you've been in this very, very powerful, shadowy, uncomfortable evaluation of your life. So maybe this revelation, this realization is going to be linked to your purpose, but I do feel a dark night of the soul stemming around a relationship. So I feel like an unveiling. There's going to be something unveiled to you, whether this is incoming messages from your higher self, or, you know, who knows, you might receive an unexpected message from somebody clarifying something that you were seeking information on. But I do feel whatever message that you're receiving, I think it's going to be unexpected, but you better listen to what is said, because I do feel there's truth in that. And so let's see what else needs to come through. Maybe you're coming out of the Dark Night of the Soul. Maybe you've been in it for a while, but I feel July is going to really push you forward. I do feel that. Kitty, are you going to get out of here? And so you probably also hear my little one playing in the background. It is summer vacation, and so the kids are going to be a part of the background for a while now. And so there is that self-actualization, Aries, empowerment. And so yeah, this is about empowering yourself, stepping into your highest potential, executing a plan, and getting back onto the road to reach your full potential. So I do think it's going to take a lot of strength to maybe get rid of somebody that's been taking advantage of you. But ultimately, we have to take ownership of what it is that we create in our life, right? And so you really might want to spend some time in nature. I do feel you're at a major pivot point. I do feel this big energy of a fork in the road. And there is something that you need to let go of here. And so you might want to just envelope yourself in some healing light. Really allow yourself to let any unwanted thoughts just pass through you without any attachments. But I do feel there's a circumstance that needs to kind of be released, that needs to be let go of. And you know what? Retreating and spending time in nature, getting grounded, will really help you get through this pivot point. And so a fork in the road, and maybe you've been stuck at this fork in the road for a while when it comes to making a very important decision, because maybe it's going to have some substantial impact, not only on yourself, but everybody else that might be connected to this situation. But I do feel a big part of this lesson is illuminating your purpose, right? Maybe the lesson you're learning from this connection, kitty, is going to allow you to be a guide for somebody else to help them find their healing light when you're on the other side. But I feel this awakening, and maybe you need to reach out for assistance as part of this awakening. And then we get the manifestation. And so we always attract into our life what we think. And so if you're in a negative thought spiral, that negativity is going to keep being recreated in your physical reality. And so practicing positivity through meditation and daily affirmations is really going to help you flip the script. Bottom of the deck, yeah, there's a challenge ahead. So there's going to be some type of challenge that's going to be presented as some type of opportunity to improve a situation here. So I do think you're going to be tested. So are you going to be able to stand strong in your beliefs? Are you going to be able to stand strong? And maybe you are being called to have empathy. I think you're dealing with some type of catalyst here. And maybe this is a very challenging relationship dynamic to redirect you on your spiritual path. So I do think you're called to have compassionate understanding towards yourself, towards another. And I feel this energy of timeline split. So maybe it's time to walk your own journey, because I do feel this energy of you and somebody significant in your life are about to, walk different timelines. You're on different timelines. Give me one sec, guys. I'm back. So I do feel there's going to be a new outlook. Could be dealing with a Pisces, but I think you haven't been able to see things through the fog. I think it's been confusing. It's been a little bit unclear. Savannah, thank you, honey. But I think you're about to see this situation from a whole new angle. And so maybe it's time to show yourself love. Are you promoting love to yourself? Because we can't call in that healthy reciprocal relationship if we're not rooted in a strong sense of self-worth and self-value. And so maybe you're dealing with somebody that constantly criticizes you. Or if you find yourself pointing the finger and criticizing somebody else, that might just be a reflection of what really needs to heal when it comes to a core issue, because I do feel somebody's kind of misguided you. Maybe you're dealing with somebody that, tells you a whole lot of mistruths. But it's time to shine light on these lies. It's time to find your truth. It's time to open up your heart and your soul, because I do feel a soul contract closing out, a soul contract clearing. And once it clears, I do think that greater awareness is going to come into this moment of self-actualization. So let's see what else needs to come through for you, Aries. I've combined my Kipper deck with my Lenormand extended deck, both, I believe, by Ciro Machete. And so let's see what needs to come through with this deck. So we get the moon energy and we get the gift. So 17 breaking down to an 8. This could be an infinite looping karmic cycle that needs to be broken. And I feel like, what gift can you give yourself? I feel this energy of this is about self-love. And with the moon, this is definitely about self-love. It's time to embrace some changes. 32 breaking down to a 5. That's change, right? That's definitely change on the horizon. And with the 8 of hearts, this is indicating like a feeling of an 8 of cups. So maybe the gift you could give yourself in the month of July is walking away from a situation that has really brought you a lot of emotional turmoil. Yeah, walking away from a situation that you felt trapped in for quite some time. And so maybe that gift to yourself is releasing any expectations as well. So let's see what needs to come through for you, Aries. Those flipped right out. So well, I'll tell you, I shuffled and those just went flying out of the deck. So we're going to leave that as a side message. Yeah, I think there's some pretty hefty expectations, maybe on yourself, maybe on another. Maybe because you have children with this person. But this is a 28 breaking down to a 10. And so this is a cycle probably reaching completion. And so I do feel this is a connection that keeps coming back around. And with this being a 20, there's that pivot point. You're at a crossroads, right? You're at a major, major crossroads. And so this is also vibing with like an 8 of Swords feel. And so I do think you've been trapped up in your head about making this decision for quite some time. And so I do feel some type of reorientation. Why is my deck upside down? Maybe things are about to feel like they're getting flipped upside down. But let's see what else needs to come through with this deck for you, Aries. We get the Seven of Pentacles in reversed. So this is stuck. There's definitely this energy of you spent a lot of time trying to make things work when it comes to a home situation is what I'm feeling. And you're definitely at this crossroads, yeah. And so we get the Seven of Diamonds in reversed with the Seven of Diamonds in reversed. So both of these are 12 cards. So on this card, this is like the Seven of Pentacles energy. So both of these energies, 7-7, first off, 7-7. I do believe around that 7-7 portal on July 7th, there's going to be a gateway portal. And I do feel you're stuck. And so that's like double confirmation of the stuckness. You've definitely watered a dead tree for a long time. And there's that compass reorienting you. Back to home of self is what this really feels like. And so maybe you've been in a home situation with a water sign, a King of Cups. But I feel the fates are kind of stepping in because it's kind of time to journey towards balance and harmony. And so maybe since about April, you've really been on the fence with which direction to go. And so I feel around that time of the nodal shift as well, Aries North Node, right? We're going into the Aries North Node on the 17th. And then we're going to have some big energies with the moon aspects as well. In the month of July. I do feel July is a big month for karmic retribution, along with stepping into that karmic pathway. And so you could be going through some type of North Node activation. And what I feel here is a lack of listening to that higher guidance. Owls do signify some type of rebirth. But we see two owls in a purified state. And it's like, I feel you've got two angel guides on the other side. And they've been sending you the signs and the syncs, and you've not been listening. And I feel there's a lot of mental chatter, and maybe there's fear of a lot of outside opinions or gossip going around, because when I see all of these birds around, I feel like they're chirping around the water cooler. So there could be some gossip, and maybe that's what's kept you stuck. But two, I want to mention, if you're in a foundation with the King of Cups, sometimes that can be a very difficult energy, because the King of Cups is often known for repressing and holding back a lot of emotions. And so this is where I think you're at. I think you're at a crossroads. If you look, there's two doorways to choose from. It's a 22 card, which is a master number. 22 breaking down to a 4, which is all about those foundations, right? And this is the Queen of Diamonds. So there's that lesson in self-worth, self-value, right? Because this is like the Queen of Pentacles. Do you know your worth or your value? Because I think you got a big decision to make here. And I do feel you've been feeling stuck in some type of imprisonment, kind of like the Eight of Swords in 29. There's also a big energy playing out in July, Aries, connected to the North Node. And we're going to have this very massive, like, square, like this grand square going on. And it's going to be 29, 29, 29, 29. And so it's going to be like 11, 11, 11, 11. Are you ready to step into mastery of completion of a cycle? And I do feel that's going to bring some sudden, unexpected abundance. 777. I do feel the 7-7 portal is significant, Aries. So let's go a little bit deeper with the tarot. But I feel a reorientation. Oh my God. Yeah, and you're breaking free from something here. I do feel like the party's over. The masquerade is over. There's just no more fun here. There's nothing left to celebrate. Maybe because, you know, there's been a lot of third-party interference, and that could just be a bunch of gossiping friends. It doesn't have to be a cheating scenario. It could be. It doesn't have to be. But I feel like the party's over. I do feel maybe somebody has been overindulging and using alcohol as a mask. But I do feel there could be exposure of some hidden addictions here as well, Aries. But I feel with the Devil reversed, it's time to break free before things get worse, because it's feeling like very restricted. Could be dealing with a Capricorn or a Cancer. But I feel with Mercury going into Cancer, I do feel there's going to be some telepathic messages coming through your guides. And you're really going to want to listen to these incoming messages, because I do feel it's important. Ace of Wands rebirth. This is like the passion is gone. The spark is gone. Is there really real feelings here? Or was it all about the passion in the first place? Passion and money, right? So let's see what else needs to come through for you, Aries. I just feel like it's time to get emotionally honest with yourself about somebody that, you know, really is not invested. Wow. Wow. We get to have the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, the Five of Pentacles. And so the Queen of Cups, I feel this is a tough decision to be made. Pisces energy. You could be dealing with the Pisces, or you could be dealing with a Virgo. Maybe a Taurus. But I feel there's blocks in communication. I do feel, you know, maybe it's time to put a partnership behind you that at one point in time you thought was going to be a lifetime partnership. She doesn't look too happy, this Queen of Cups, right? And I do feel you do have a lot of love to give, Aries. You likely have strong Pisces in your chart. And I do feel it's kind of time to put the past behind you. You very well could be dealing with somebody that really is not invested. Although your heart is in it, this is signifying to me, it doesn't matter what you put into this, it always leaves you feeling emotionally bankrupt. And with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this is somebody really not committed for the long haul. And I do feel there's this lack of passion. And I think it's caused you a lot of sleepless nights. Maybe even nightmares. And so I feel this Queen of Cups is the one that needs to take action. So you decide who you are. But yeah, there's that Death in reverse. So there's resistance to an ending. I feel fear of letting go, fear of transforming. Yeah, because I do think you've been in some type of fantasy and illusion. I think you wanted to make this work with Pisces energy coming through. We have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, or yeah, going retrograde, I think tomorrow. On the 30th of June, we have Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so this is saying, hey, why are you holding on to a fantasy? Why are you holding on to an illusion? And I think because at one point in time, you thought this was your happily ever after. There's a lack of balance here. There's a lack of equality. I feel more karma playing out. Maybe you spent the last 9 months in the dark night of the soul. Stress, riddled with anxiety, trying to figure out what's fantasy, what's illusion, because the Queen of Cups can easily fall prey to romantic illusions because she has such a big heart, such a loving, open, kind heart. And so she can be, you know, a little bit skewed with her perceptions. I do feel an unexpected pivot point. I feel an unexpected argument about feelings, maybe with a Libra, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But there's that Scorpio energy. You've been in the dark night of the soul, and I do feel there's a need to gain that new perspective. There's that new outlook that I talked about, right? So Pisces. And there's that Neptune in Pisces energy going retrograde. So I feel there's going to be a wake-up call when it comes to gaining a new perspective in order to walk the pathway of healing, temperance, Sagittarius energy. So let's take a deeper look at this Ten of Cups with the Death reverse, because I do feel a family situation might need to be walked away from here with a Pisces or a Scorpio. Yeah. So this is going to trigger a core wound. I do feel this has left you feeling very confused, in a state of disillusionment, because yeah, I do feel there's fear about releasing this, and maybe because this is a connection that's been a part of your life for a very long time, all the way back to childhood. There's blocks. And maybe there's fear of admitting that maybe you are dealing with somebody that's a cheater, that, you know, has had a lot of options behind the scenes. And I just feel there's this lack of unity. There's this lack of togetherness. This is like a false sense of security, and we can't keep pretending everything's fine and dandy, right? A lot of people post these pictures all over social media of this perfect family, and all the couples do is fight behind closed doors. And so we're not here to impress anybody when it comes to our lives on social media, but I do feel there is this energy of confusion and disillusionment, and I do feel you're having a hard time getting your words out, because this is going to trigger a core wound. And so what I also feel too is there's been a lot of strife. There's been a lot of arguing. There has been a lot of outside opinions. And so it's kind of time to block out all of the noise, because I feel you're stuck, right? It's like the tree of life in reverse. This is like upright is the Kundalini activation. And so I do feel what's been holding you back is is fear of having to feel the heartbreak of the ending. And that's what's been holding you back, right? That's what's been preventing you from moving on. And so don't deceive yourself. I do feel somebody here has been living with the rose-colored glasses on. So let's dig into this Queen of Cups a little bit deeper. Queen of Swords. I like that. Two of Cups reverse. Page of Swords reverse. Eight of Cups reverse. Well, I don't know who you are in this situation, Aries, but we've got a feminine here, and she's getting ready to cut to the chase. The Queen of Swords is authentic. She's forthright. She sees the truth. She speaks the truth. She doesn't back down from the truth. And so I do feel this is the energy of making a head over heart decision. And I do feel a message being delivered from a feminine saying, I'm no longer going to invest and work on something where I just know you're not my perfect match anymore. And I do think this was a very difficult decision to make a head over heart decision, but it's like, there's no passion here. There's probably not much going on in the bedroom. And so this is a period of healing. And maybe with Mercury and Cancer, this decision is going to be made. And I don't think it's going to be an easy one, but I do feel a feminine here. Head over heart decision. You know, sometimes the heart wants what it wants, but we have to be realistic. And if somebody's really not investing in us, then we have to choose to pull back our investment, right? And so this is also the energy of balancing the head and the heart and getting honest with yourself, right? And so I do feel healing. And I do feel the second you choose to make this decision, magic's going to be alive in your life. I also feel you're dealing with some type of master manipulator who's tried to skirt around being responsible for something. Virgo, Gemini. I do feel get ready for some type of revelation about some shady behavior. And you will understand their feelings for you when all of this is done. But let's get you one last message, Aries. With the Divine Energy Oracle deck, what last closing message or advice card does Aries need to be aware of? Do something different. You know what the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Maybe it's time to do something different. Maybe it's time to take a different approach, because I do feel you want to be joyful, but this is going to require making a very decisive decision and sticking to it. And I think you've thought things through long enough and you're all done thinking things through. And that's what I got for you, Aries. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below, Aries, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.